Okay.
Oh, the grand entry. Quest is in the building. What up? What up, QC? Mama Taylor.
Hey, queens. Say hi, Leo Rising Twins.
Hey, Leo Rising
Cancer Venus.
Oh my God.
I
love you so much, baby boo.
All right, here you go. That's the dot.
And Baba Shane. And I love you, Taylor Moon.
Love you too, hon. Yeah, I guess we're talking about Venus and Aquarius.
Yes.
And Aquarius period. And I mean, a lot of like Saturn energy coming up.
Yeah.
Actually, for Capricorn season. So,
yeah.
So Venus went into Aquarius on December 19th.
Mm-hmm.
How's it been like for you? What have you noticed?
Oh gosh. Well, for starters, I'm surrounded by Aquarians always. Yeah. And of course, this conversation itself is just a manifestation of Aquemini, Gemini, and Aquarius magic. Yeah. And I actually spent a lot of time with my Aquarians, which has been so fun. And what is really present to me with Venus and Aquarius right now is that friendship is the highest form of relating.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that if we keep that in mind, especially during this transit and just in life in general, then, you know, that's one of the keys to making relationships in life work, is to like treat everybody as your best friend. Like you extend that love to your friends. Mm-hmm. That same love and respect that we give to like our best friends is something that we should really share with everybody and kind of treat each other as brothers and sisters, as friends. And
yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. That's so true. And I even say that in like even in love relationships and more romantic, like friendship is still the basis of those relationships too. Like I think sometimes people get caught up in their, you know, the titles and like, well, you're supposed to be this. And if you're my boyfriend or my girlfriend, there's this list of expectations. But, you know, sometimes that what gets missed is that there's a basis of friendship first. And sometimes people are in a relationship and, you know, they're not even being a good friend to their partner, or their partner isn't being a good friend to them. Yes. You know, and I think Venus in Aquarius can be a good reminder, like you said, of like just friendship being the basis of all relationships. I mean, even like you're saying, kind of like with strangers and just people being more polite. I do feel like people have been a little more like courteous. Like even being on Twitter, it's not as like
like it's not like a love fest right now, and we're all like, we all love each other.
Because sometimes I get on there and it's just like, whew, the energy is just so like hostile. But like lately I've been on Twitter and it's just like more chill.
Yeah.
So
very communal oriented. People are going through sharing their end of the year appreciation for each other, acknowledging everybody for the beauty and friendship connection. And it makes my 11th house sun so happy right now.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Too, as an Aquarius, I've been feeling just more I guess optimistic. I don't know. I've been feeling good since like a little bit before Christmas. So I'm assuming that is Venus and Aquarius, like just feeling, and probably like Saturn energy for like Capricorn season.
Yeah.
But I've been feeling just like pretty good and more, I guess, more just in sync and aligned, I guess, if that makes sense.
Totally. That makes a lot of sense. What does that look like in your lived experience right now?
I guess I would say just more looking at life a little more optimistic and with a little more beauty in it. I've been more like, there's a level of contentment, like a little bit. That doesn't mean I'm not ambitious or don't desire more, but it's like just kind of like living life with more gratitude. Like, yeah, like I do have a beautiful life and things are good, and you know, I have goals, but like I really appreciate like where I've been and like where I've gotten, you know, so far in life. And, you know, like, and also like just realizing like Shane was just saying this, like realizing that perfection is the enemy of progress. And so like I've had this attitude of like, you know what, I have a lot to offer the world. I'm just gonna like put it out there, like no matter what. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I'm just me. I'm gonna share myself with the world. Like so this is very, I don't know. Like so I think Venus in Aquarius has me just very like optimistic and ready to like share that part of myself. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. And I love every time you do share yourself. And I also am in like a similar place too. It's like I have a bigger vision for my life, but I'm not like incredibly like milestone, like goal markers, like feeling like I really have to do anything. And I feel the more that I really just align, go inside, meditate, order my day, just the flow and the unfolding of everything is so perfect. And it's like there's just one conversation that continues on between one person to another and another.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just like really peaceful with like this moment. Like this moment right now is all that matters to me. And then the next moment, however that plays out will be great. But as long as we stay in that space of just sharing ourselves and sharing our lives and just being really authentic about wherever we're at, then I feel like more things just kind of magnetize and flow that way. And it's not so much of like an in order to or trying to get anywhere and get shit done, because I'm like so over that energy. I can't even like.
Me too. Is like it could be that right now, right? Because it is Capricorn season and it is Saturn season. And it's like, you know, typically I feel like most times at the end of the year, you know, everyone's like hardcore, like my New Year's resolutions are this. And like, you know, everyone's like super planning and it's like hustle next year is all about hustle and blah, blah, blah. But I do feel like there's this kind of like mellowness, a little bit of like calmness. And I can see how Venus and Aquarius can contribute to that. Just more, Aquarius itself is just, it's the phrase is, I know. Right? So it's like, you just, there's this knowing that Aquarius energy has. It's just like a visionary. It's like seeing the vision and kind of knowing that you're pulling it towards you, you know, like without needing to like force anything. So I kind of feel like with that Saturn, Aquarius, and Capricorn like mesh, right? It's like all this energy that fits good together. I've been noticing a lot of, like myself, it sounds like you too, and a lot of other people that have a lot of big goals, you know, for next year, for the next decade. But there's like this calmness of how they're like approaching it. You know, there's this like, okay, I'm just gonna like do me and like bring forth this vision rather than I gotta like do this, you know, like really anal about it. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like manifesting with grace and ease rather than chasing a carrot. And so much more of our power, especially like as feminine energy people, is in the magnetizing and the aligning with what already is. And I think also what's been helpful is like with this Saturn and Capricorn coming to an end right now, I'm seeing like actual physical manifestations and crystallizations of seeds that were planted like in 2017.
Yes.
You know, like when Saturn first got into Capricorn and that transit began, you know, there was so
like December 2017, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of these seeds were planted, and to see them come to fruition after 2 years, things that I like forgot about and had totally disregarded and was like, this is nothing, I let it go. And now it's like actually coming into physical lived existence. And it's like, wow, you know, like we plant seeds and you don't eat the fruit the same day you plant the tree. You know, so
that's a good reflection, because I was thinking about it too. Like, just I think I was in the shower and I was like, holy shit, like my life. Like over the last 2 years, like I'm a completely different person. And like you said, where Saturn went into Capricorn, and then we had those Cancer. What was it? Was it Cancer Capricorn eclipses in 2018? Or I know there was some. There was a lunar.
Aquarius Leo.
Yeah,
I think 2018 was Aquarius Leo.
And so like that whole thing happened in 2018. And then, Cancer the North Node went into Cancer, and then we've had like this Capricorn Cancer. And so it's like over these last 2 years, like so many changes.
Yeah. So what have you seen in your life that's changed that's relative to either like the Aquarius Leo or the Cancer Capricorn themes?
Well, the biggest thing is, so July 27, 2018 was the lunar eclipse in Aquarius. And that was exact my sun. So it was 4 degrees, which is exact my sun. So I remember like on Instagram.
What's your birthday again?
My birthday?
Yeah.
January 24th, which is the new moon, which is
crazy.
So
I got an Aquarius dancing in the room right now.
I know, it's wild. So I remember like on Instagram, I wrote like, I'm going to be a new person. Like the lunar eclipse is exact my sun. And it literally has been that. And you kind of, you've seen like.
Yes. Y'all, Taylor literally had like brain surgery between the time that I met her and then she had a child, and she's like this bionic new woman, you know, like
I had brain surgery, and healed from that. I have lost almost 150 pounds.
150?
Yeah, which is crazy. I like weighed myself the other day. Like,
hey Travis, you say hi for a second.
Oh.
That's another Aquarius.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I'm surrounded by y'all.
Awesome.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. So 150 pounds.
Then I had a baby. I started my astrology business. And I can't even like begin to speak on the just mindset shifts and the total. I don't even know. Like I have to like, I can't even put it in the words. Just like the mental shifts that have taken place with me. And that's like just been the biggest contributor to like just the changes that have happened in my life. So it's interesting. I just found out that the new moon next month is on my birthday, and it's again exact my sun at 4 degrees. So I'm like, okay, universe. And it's cool because even the Capricorn, Cancer, like the eclipses and everything that's happening is like, I'm a Cancer rising. Like I have a Capricorn Mercury. So it's like this whole like mental shift, self physical, and like just complete changes within myself. So I'm just excited to see what 2020 brings and everything.
Do you have a copy of your book near you right now?
I do.
Yeah, and on top of all of that, she's also a published author of the Aquarius book, just in case y'all forgot.
And I wrote a book called Aquarius, which is at Barnes & Noble right now. I'm super excited. This was fun. I wrote this when, I keep saying this because I can't even believe it. I wrote this when I was like 9 months pregnant with Quest.
Hello.
I'm really proud of it.
Yes! Leo rising!
Super proud of it. My first book. And it's really awesome that it was released in stores during Venus and Aquarius.
Visualization, manifestation.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about it. And,
yeah.
That was like huge changes since 2017. There's probably even more but those are probably like the biggest ones I've noticed.
And they're all really big. Like your head was cut open.
Yeah. Like you can't even tell really. I'll have to, if you scroll like my Insta somewhere, it's somewhere. But like, I probably need to like write a post about it.
Taylor and I We used to live like 15 minutes away from each other in Chicago, but the first time we actually met was in Mexico. So if that gives you a picture of like what the Aquarius Gemini relationship is like, it's like international, very airy, all over the place.
And it was like literally magical. And I'm so grateful for the twins. For
Tali and Ophi, the Astro twins.
That was, I mean, amazing. It was really, I tell them that it was like the catalyst to just like my life changing. Cause
yeah,
I remember even questioning like, oh, should I go on this trip? And like, I'm so glad I did because it was amazing. I met people like you and that I'm still cool with. And it really just gave me the validation I needed to continue with astrology and going for it.
Yes.
We live in the Midwest, right? So doing like astrology is so woo. It's extra woo here.
Right.
Like there's people, there's a little community, especially since we live in Chicago, but it's like, it's a little, you know, I think people on like the East and West Coast, you know, they have more of a tribe. And here it's like,
okay. Yeah, got a couple of us here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, name on my
phone. It was really validating to like find you guys and like have this like circle of people that do this work. So super excited.
Yeah. And what I really love too is like all of the people that I'm in long distance relationships with like everybody that I love. I'm like, nobody's in Chicago, like Monique's in Phoenix, Rachel's in Texas, Colin is in New York, there's people in Seattle, LA, like, I don't know, it just is a global sort of thing that I'm like grateful that we have this family and like the distance really is completely irrelevant too. And that's a very Aquarian.
It is. Yeah. So I know that you've also gone through big changes. Me and you have talked about it a little bit, and like you've worked on just like yourself and being more open. And I was telling you like, girl, I just wanted to like link up, you know what I mean? But you were like kind of doing your Gemini thing where you were just like, hey girl, love you, bye.
Is that how Geminis are?
Oh my God. Like, oh my gosh, what's going on over here? Love you guys. Okay, bye. Next thing.
My friend Austin said the same exact thing, like word for word, literally. He said that.
It's that mutable energy. Us Aquarian fixed energy. We're like, what? Slow down. What? Okay, she's going.
Yeah, what I really can see is that also in my like not being as connected as I could be, it's that I was really just like living a totally inauthentic life. And so a lot of things weren't really working. And so I think what the biggest gift of the last couple years for me has been being able to really clearly see the world that I had created, false illusions, and it's been like this shedding of the ego, and that obviously never goes away, but it's just like peeling back layer after layer and distinguishing inauthentic ways of being with myself and with others. Really healed my family dynamic, and I think that part was like what I was running from my whole life from when I was like 19. And when my dad died a couple months ago, he died like right before Halloween, and I was able to go home to Zambia with my sister and my brother and like be with all of our family and our relatives and lay my father to rest. And completing that timeline for me was like, that was everything. It was like coming home to myself. It was laying to rest a storyline of just like ups and downs and instability and dysfunction and self-sabotage and so many things that I had created as a reaction to something that happened when I was like a teenager and was always running away from myself. And so, with his passing, going home to Zambia, being with family, seeing the network that I come from, my family, my bloodline, my aunts, my uncles, like seeing everybody, seeing myself reflected in so many people, I was just like, oh my God, like my whole life makes sense now.
Cancer's in your 12th house, right?
Was that?
Cancer's in your 12th house?
Yes, my Venus in Cancer's in the 12th house. So that's very much about subconscious, hidden, hidden enemies and all the stuff that we create. So, yeah, I just felt like I finally came into that sense of like true home, not having to run from myself. I
Yeah.
can restore integrity on the past. I can heal even the most dysfunctional relationships and have actual love and affinity be present. And yeah, just from that solid foundation of home and feeling safe and secure and not living for myself anymore, it's like all of my relationships in my world have expanded and just become so much more beautiful and crystallized and abundant.
You did some deep like 12th house
Yes.
work, like some real introspective. And it's amazing too. Like we had all that Cancer energy happening, and it makes sense that you had to go back to your roots and your family dynamics and relationship with like your mom and your siblings and your dad, and like working that out, because people don't realize that like your roots, that fourth house area is like it really spills into all areas of your life.
Yes. It's the foundation. It's the very bottom of your chart. It's where you come from. And until we're able to complete our relationship with our parents and like who we are, I think your life is going to be a really tough row to hoe, because you're not solid in that stable foundation of like who you really are. And that's why I'm a stand for completing things and not being like, I have to cut this person off because it's toxic and this and that. It's like you're running from yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that, because that's like a thing that's kind of going around too. Like I notice every holiday people are like, there's like these memes and stuff that go around like, you don't have to deal with toxic family members, and there is some like, you want to feel safe. You don't have to accept abuse or anything, right? But there's this deeper, there's more work that needs to be done, because like you said, you can't just like cut people off and like completely be okay. You can pretend.
Yeah.
You can pretend you're okay not talking to your
Yourself, your other self, and another person.
Literally, but it's something that's there, and it's like work that needs to be done, and until that work is done, you do run from yourself. And I think all of us that have done that deep inner work we've had to go back to our family roots, that fourth house foundation, to work that stuff out, and that's really awesome that you were able to do that, and that you see like the freedom in it, like you feel it. You just seem so much more like at peace. Not that you were like, you're so good, you're a Leo rising, so you're just like,
yeah,
I'm fine. But like you just, there's this like just super authentic like piece about you now. So
thank you. Thank you for that.
12th house work, girl.
Yes. So yeah, it was like with the 12th house, I didn't even know what the hell my Venus actually even meant in my life until like Colin pointed it out. He asked me, I was like, I don't really know. He's like, bitch, what about that viral breastfeeding goddesses photo of you and your baby in the water that went all around the world and was shared like billions of times? I was like, oh yeah, Venus in Cancer, mother and nurturing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I started to put the magnifying glass on my Venus so I could actually take a look at this and like what I had created in my relationships. And that kind of activated the unraveling of all of the inauthenticities. And it's like we really wanted to take a look at what's going on in the 12th house, but it takes something. Like you really just want to look at your life and not be afraid to take responsibility and be responsible for everything that's showing up in your reality. And that's how you can transform it.
Yeah, it's kind of dope too that like when it's time, because like the 12th house is usually where the house of self undoing and hidden things and secrets. And I think a lot of people have a hard time really describing what it is, but it's definitely, what I've found is that when it's time, when the universe deems it time for you to begin to work on those areas, it's crazy how like they'll send different energies your way.
Yes.
So like you had to deal with like a lot of family stuff, in your 12th house is Cancer. And like my 12th house is Gemini. So like, hello, I'm speaking to a Gemini right now, and I've had like hella Geminis like come in my life. Just like good, like I could name like 5 of you guys right now that I talk to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That are constantly like cheerleading me and encouraging me, and like pushing me to just like share myself more, because I do have an 8th house sun, and sometimes we just like to be like,
Yes.
you're talking about. Yeah. So it's like, usually we say so much and we have a lot to contribute, but it's like we just kind of shy away from it a little bit. So Geminis, you guys are the ultimate communicator. So it's been amazing just to see how the universe has been like sending these Geminis my way to like help bring that out of me. So all that stuff is really powerful.
Yeah. It really is. And I'm like so glad that you have a flock of Gemini butterflies here for you.
I was just texting Jess today. Jess Garcia. We're gonna talk on Friday.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's like the circle. We're all just like creating together constantly. And I just feel so grateful that we get to do this and share and expand and use astrology as a tool and like as the framework and as a lens into ourselves, and actually like use what we see there and dive deep. It's like a map to unearthing yourself.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And you have you have a Capricorn stellium?
Yes.
And that's the 11th house?
My Capricorn is in the 6th house. So I have the Moon, Mars, and Neptune in Capricorn in the 6th house.
Oh, nice. I wonder, because I know we just had that solar eclipse in Capricorn, and then we have the lunar eclipse in Cancer coming up on the 10th.
Yeah.
Those are polarities again.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to just seeing how it plays. One thing I've kind of learned through astrology too is just like rolling and flowing with it, like just seeing like, okay, like this is gonna hit, my chart in specific areas, and like just kind of seeing how it plays out. Like I think the solar eclipse was pretty much on my descendant, which is obviously opposite my rising sign. So I'm like, okay, there's gonna be some changes with my relationships and like myself. And you can like guesstimate all day, but at the end of the day, you just kind of have to see how it how it unfolds and manifests for you.
Right, because it's like we're not going to necessarily know exactly how it's going to play out. We can see like, okay, this area of my life is going to be impacted, and then it's kind of like we're able to just be with what is and like look at it and be like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense. Blowing up my 6th house of work, blowing up my 12th house. Okay, I got to move out of my apartment, my Cancer Venus crab shell, because the universe is not letting me stay anymore, and I have to come and live with my family. So it's just like, it's so real. It's just literal. It's cool.
Yeah. Super exciting.
Yeah.
January is pretty packed. I mean, we have the eclipses. We got the dreaded Saturn-Pluto conjunction.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's coming up. I don't know. They call it my 8th house sun or whatever, square Pluto. I kind of sometimes like these tougher energies like Saturn and Pluto, and like it doesn't mean they feel good. I'm not like sadistic. Like sometimes they don't feel good, but it's like I know that there's like miracles that can come forth and manifest from it. So
1,000,000%. Yeah. We're not even like here to like just feel good. It's like our feeling and like these breakdowns are like the exact access to the breakthroughs. So it's like when the shit is blowing up, that's the greatest opportunity that we have to, come into a bigger form of ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we got a chance to chat, girl.
Yes. So anyway, so my website is the venusacademy.com, and it's the lifestyle masterclass of love. And I had this sort of not epiphany, but I was like, you know what? I think I just need to create a separate Instagram account for Venus Academy, and then keep my mizChartreuse personal Instagram just for like sharing myself and like acting a fool and like making music videos and stuff and whatever. Maybe my Leo rising vanity. And then I'll keep more of the Venus love school teachings and stuff to like a separate Instagram account and just share from there and kind of like grow that organically. So
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I actually was like kind of bobbling, like, because I have a personal Instagram and then I have the Astral Taylor Moon. I was like, but I've actually decided to do the opposite and close my personal. I was really, I mean, this was really like, I've been thinking about this for like 2 years. Like, oh, what do I do? I'm realizing like I have a 10th house stellium, which includes my Mars, Moon, Venus,
Yeah.
midheaven. So it's like, this is me. Like, you know, I just want to be able to share who I am. And like, I'm so annoying. I always talk about astrology, right, Shane? Literally all the time.
Like, I know.
Like, damn near an astrologer himself on accident, because I'm always like, yeah, that's like your Scorpio moon and blah, blah, blah. So it's just me, and I just, you know, again, like my 8th house sun.
Yes.
I just need to like learn how to just, you know, share myself. And I think sometimes for me, having 2 is like kind of copping out, where I'm sharing some things here, some things there.
Ooh, okay.
I push myself to like share more.
Yes.
And just kind of have like who I am in just one place. That's just for me. I kind of came to that conclusion. It's interesting how we came to this conclusion. I totally get for you too, about like, you have mizChartreuse, who's like fun and dances and like does all this, but then like you have this, I mean, first of all, you have that Capricorn energy that is very, you're a businesswoman, you know what I mean? So it makes sense that, you know, Venus Academy needs a home.
Yes.
And, you know, so you can really share your wisdom and like put it out there too. So
yeah, and then just have a place just to drop the bomb selfies and just be silly and not be like, okay, well, I'm gonna post a selfie, but then I have to like teach like in 10 paragraphs underneath it. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think kind of distinguishing between the two will be fun. And plus, I have like so many photos in the backlog that I haven't saved.
Your phone
storage is always full. So I just need to be dropping stuff.
I think we the people that we know, we're always like, when did Char get that picture or that video? You could be like if you weren't like an astrologer, you need like a PI or something. Like you're able to
I'm
just
a record keeper. A record keeper. Yes. That's
cool, yeah. Look at Saturn.
Yes. So I like that. Well, I like our 2020 visions and what is crystallizing and what we're up to and the life that we're inventing. And it's been great sharing with you.
Yeah, of course. It's always a good time. And I hope this helps other people kind of, you know, think about where they've been at lately and how they've been thinking. Because I really do feel like the collective, if I can put my Aquarius hat on, I do feel like the collective has been just more, there's like this calmness, like this, it's like this humming of like, I'm ready to get shit done, but like less of that, like I need to hustle and push and it's like more like, oh, I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And, like, and it's just like this sense of peace and calmness about it. Like, oh, it's happening, you know? And I feel like that's kind of the feeling I'm getting from the collective. And, you know, and I hope that Aquarius season, you know, brings people together to help each other manifest those goals. And maybe when Saturn moves into Aquarius in March, like we'll really see that. I know I want to collaborate more with people starting now. I love that we're doing this on New Year's Eve.
Totally. This is the perfect way to complete the decade. Oh my God. Of course I complete the decade with my Aquarius. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're already doing it. I mean, listen, like we're doing it. It's like not even talking about what we're going to do. Like it's just what is and what is here. And your book, you know, is out on pre-order, but everybody has it in their hands right now. So
I'm so excited. I'm proud. I'm legit proud of myself.
So freaking proud of you.
Yeah. Check it out, guys. It's a cute little read.
Where can everybody get your book, Taylor?
So right now it's on Barnes & Noble. So if you go to my website, so taylormoonastrology.com, there's a link to be able to buy it on Barnes & Noble. It's available for pre-order on Amazon. So if you just search for Aquarius or Taylor Moon on Amazon, it'll pop up and you can pre-order it. And those are released in February. But if you're itching to get a copy of it, you can go to Barnes & Noble right now, either in stores or online, and grab yourself a copy. And all the funds go to my son's future.
Woohoo!
Especially since he helped me write it. I actually wrote a dedication to him.
Oh, what does the dedication say?
It says, "This book is dedicated to my son, Quest. Your tiny and mighty spirit gave me the power to give birth to you and this book at the same time. I love you to the moon and back." Yeah. And he's right there. I know you're Cancer Venus. I know Colin cries every time. I love him. So
that's beautiful. I'm so proud of you. And so again, you can find me and my creations at thevenusacademy.com and on Instagram at mizChartreuse and at the Venus Academy. And my new offering now is called a Cosmo-Practic Adjustment. So I have these relationship consultations and I do astrology readings, but I'm really enjoying just having these sessions where we can talk about whatever it is that you are up to, whatever you're doing, whatever you're dealing with, and then we create a breakthrough by the end of it. So you can hit me up over there.
Yes, talk to her, guys. It's amazing, and she'll just pull it out of you. That 12th house Cancer Venus, it feels you. It just feels through it. It knows. So definitely talk to her.
Oh, thank you, Taylor.
So this is exciting. I look forward to creating with you in 2020 and forward. And have a happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'm just chilling at home with the fam.
Beautiful. And I'm going out with my Aquarius, of course. Of course. Never alone.
Yeah. All right, girl.
Taylor, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
All right, bye.
Well, I'll end it. Wait, let's see. Wait.